In the 1960s, an unknown German sociologist named Niklas Luhmann made an extraordinary claim that left his academic colleagues completely baffled. I'm not researching or writing my papers and books. My notes are doing the work for me. At first, this statement sounds ridiculous, maybe even delusional. How could notes, simple pieces of paper, be responsible for someone's intellectual output? But here's where the story gets interesting. Using nothing but a wooden box filled with index cards, Luhmann went on to publish over 70 books and 400 scholarly articles, becoming one of the most influential social theorists of the 20th century. His secret? A system of 90,000 meticulously organized and connected notes that literally fought for him. A second brain. What's truly remarkable isn't just the quantity of his work, but how effortlessly it seemed to flow from him, as if the ideas were already fully formed before he even sat down to write. And in a way, they were. That's why in this video, I will show you why building a second brain is no longer optional for creators and knowledge workers, where most people go wrong, and the complete system I've developed for making it work. The same system that transformed my own learning and content creation process, allowing me to learn and create twice as fast with half the effort. So part 1, the digital tsunami. Let's start by understanding the problem we're all facing. Because you're not just drowning in information, you're being crushed by a digital tsunami. According to research, the average person consumes 44 gigabytes of data daily, a 350% increase from just 20 years ago. That's equivalent to reading about 174 newspapers from cover to cover every single day. And your brain was never designed to handle this volume of information. It evolved in an environment where new information was rare and valuable. Now it's constant and overwhelming. But the most alarming part isn't just how much information you're consuming, it's how little you're retaining. And the Ebbinghaus forgetting curve reveals a brutal reality. 50% of what you learn is forgotten within the first hour, 70% disappears after 24 hours, 80% vanishes after 1 week, and less than 5% remains after 30 days. Think about that. That life-changing book you read last month, you've already forgotten 95% of it. That brilliant podcast insight, gone. The perfect quote for your next article, vanished. This isn't just occasional forgetfulness, it's a systematic failure of the human brain to adapt to the information age. Meanwhile, your digital life is fragmented across dozens of apps. Notes scattered across Notion, Evernote, Apple Notes, Google Docs, and countless other tools that promise to make your life easier, but instead create a digital quicksand. And the cost is staggering. Knowledge workers like us spend an average of 1.8 hours every day just searching for information we've already encountered. That's 12 weeks per year, a full quarter of your working life. Time you could be using to create breakthrough content, grow your business, develop new skills, or simply enjoy life. And even at a modest hourly rate of €50, that's over €80,000 worth of your time wasted annually just looking for information you already have. So now let's see why traditional note-taking is failing you. Because when we examine why this crisis exists, the answer becomes clear. Our note-taking methods haven't evolved to meet our modern needs. What worked in college or even in the early internet era is totally inadequate today. So let me break down the 5 critical failures of traditional note-taking that are keeping you stuck. First, notes remain isolated. Your brilliant insights stay trapped in separate apps and folders, preventing the connections that lead to breakthrough ideas. The value of knowledge isn't in isolated facts, but in the relationships between them. Relationships your current system makes impossible to discover. Second, notes are never reviewed. Without a systematic review process, your brain follows the ruthless forgetting curve we just discussed. That flash of insight you had last Tuesday, your brain has already discarded it along with 80% of everything else you learned that day. Third, notes aren't usable. We've all been there, opening an old note and having no idea what we meant. Context is lost, abbreviations are mysterious, and that brilliant idea is now unintelligible. Fourth, notes aren't taken systematically. Your method for taking notes from books differs from your approach to articles, which differs from how you capture podcast insights. This inconsistency creates a fragmented system where nothing connects properly. And fifth, and this is the biggest one, notes don't lead to creation. Because the ultimate purpose of consuming information should be application and creation. Yet most note-taking systems create a growing chasm between what you consume and what you create. The harsh truth is that without a system specifically designed for the modern information landscape, you're not a knowledge worker, you're a digital hoarder. You collect countless articles, books, and ideas with no clear path to utilize them. Each saved articles, each highlight, each read later bookmark gives you a momentary dopamine hit, the false satisfaction of capturing knowledge. But without a system to process, connect, and utilize this information, you're simply building an ever-expanding digital junk drawer. And your next breakthrough article, video, or business idea is likely already in your possession, buried somewhere in your scattered notes, forgotten highlights, or abandoned documents. The tragedy isn't that you don't have enough information, it's that you can't access and utilize what you already have. And I used to be just like you. Despite consuming 2 hours of content daily, I found myself forgetting most of what I learned. My notes were scattered across multiple apps, Notion, Obsidian, Apple Notes, creating a digital labyrinth I would get lost in every time I needed something. But my biggest frustration came after I discovered the Zettelkasten method, because I became obsessed with it. I invested over 3.5k in courses, templates, and systems. I spent hundreds of hours learning and implementing various second brain methods, and I even built a 400 note Zettelkasten in Obsidian. It was beautiful, interconnected, and theoretically powerful. But there was a problem I hadn't anticipated. Every time I sat down to write an article or create content, I would stare at the blank page, feeling like I was starting from scratch. I would need to constantly switch between my Obsidian Zettelkasten and my writing documents. Open Obsidian, find note, copy insight, switch to writing app, paste, format, try to remember context, switch back to Obsidian, search again, switch back to writing app. This friction was killing my creative flow, and eventually I realized a painful truth. I had built this elaborate knowledge system that I barely used when it mattered most at the moment of creation. And that's when I discovered what I call the two-system problem, the artificial division between my learning system and my creation system. We use one set of tools to capture and organize what we learn, like Notion, Evernote, Obsidian, or Roam. Then we use completely different tools to create content, like Google Docs, Word, WordPress, or Medium. This separation creates a massive cognitive load, and everything changed when I became an early beta tester for Kortex, a revolutionary tool designed specifically for connecting notes and content creation in an unified environment. Because with Kortex, I could see my knowledge network while writing, making connection as I created. My content became deeper and more nuanced, and writer's blocks became almost impossible. The result, my content production time was cut by 67%, unique insights began emerging effortlessly from my connected nodes, and I finally had a growing intellectual asset that increased in value every day. And this realization led me to a fundamental shift in how I approach knowledge management. Learning and creating are not separate activities, they are two sides of the same coin. The best thinkers and creators throughout history understood this intuitively. Richard Feynman taught what he was learning, which deepened his understanding. Leonardo da Vinci's notebook blended observations with creation seamlessly, and Niklas Luhmann wrote while he organized his notes and organized his notes while he wrote. When you separate learning from creating, both activities suffer. Learning without creation becomes passive entertainment, and creation without learning becomes shallow and derivative. This integrated approach enables what I call the creator-scholar paradigm. Instead of being torn between consuming and creating, you enter a virtuous cycle. What you learn fuels what you create guides what you learn, your knowledge compounds over time, and your entire system becomes more valuable with use. And when you can see your knowledge network while you write, magical things happen. And I call it ID6, the process through which connecting different ideas creates entirely new ones. It's the phenomenon where the combination of two distinct concepts generates something greater than the sum of its parts. And most creators are stuck, recycling the same ideas as everyone else because they're working from the same sources, isolated from their own unique knowledge network. And when you can see your complete web of notes while creating, you naturally generate insights nobody else can, because nobody else has your specific constellation of connected ideas. And well-structured notes aren't just storage, they are source material for exponential content creation. A single well-developed note can spawn multiple social media posts, several newsletter sections, key points in a video script, components of longer articles. but only if your system bridges the gap between nodes and creation seamlessly. So after years of refining my approach and teaching it to others, I've codified this entire process into a step-by-step system that anyone can follow without the years of trial and error I went through. And I call it the Genius Factory System. It's a three-part framework that seamlessly integrates consumption, processing, and creation. So first, we have the content acquisition system. This gives you strategic content selection based on what's actually worth your time, automated capture across all formats, books, articles, podcasts, and videos, and an integration of tools for effortless capture. Second, we have the Zettelkasten implementation inside Kortex. Here, you will learn how to transform highlights into literature notes in your own words, extract atomic concepts into permanent notes, and build a network of connected ideas that spark new insights. And third, we have the content creation framework. This is where you turn atomic notes into unique content using proven templates, leverage the multi-pane reference system inside Kortex for seamless creation flow, and implement systematic processes for consistent, high-quality output. And when properly implemented, this system creates a virtuous cycle where your consumption fuels better creation, your creation guides more focused learning, your knowledge compounds over time, and you build a unique intellectual asset that grows more valuable every day. So now, let me be perfectly straightforward about the choice you're facing today. If you continue with your current approach to knowledge management, you will likely experience continuing to forget 95% of what you consume, starting from scratch with each piece of content you create, watching your scattered notes pile up without generating value, and creating content that looks increasingly similar to everyone else. But it doesn't have to be this way. You can implement the Genius Factory system that I just showed you to transform everything you learn into unique insights and compelling content. And to help you get there, I've created two paths forward. Option 1, if you're serious about building a long-lasting knowledge asset and want quick results without figuring everything out themselves, I've created the Second Brain Simplified course. It's a comprehensive program that takes you step by step through implementing the entire Genius Factory system inside Kortex. It normally sells for €397, but to celebrate this launch, I'm offering a massive €200 discount, bringing the price down to just €197. This special launch price is only available until May 4th. With the course, you will get 7 comprehensive modules covering everything from system setup to advanced creation techniques, 17 premium Kortex templates that eliminates 90% of the setup work, like the 24 copywriting structure template for persuasive writing, the 156 hookbank template for attention-grabbing opening, and the 104 Twitter and LinkedIn post templates for high-performing social content. You also have step-by-step video demonstrations showing exactly how to implement each part of the system, real example from my own second brain that you can use as models, and community support where you can ask questions and get direct feedback under each module. You also have detailed action steps at the end of each module to guide your implementation, and lifetime access to all updates and improvements to the course. The course is designed for people who value their time and want a complete system that just works, without the headache of piecing everything together themselves. In just 7 days, you can have a fully functioning second brain that transforms how you learn and create. If you want to learn more about what's inside the course, you can click the first link in the description. Now we have option 2, because I understand that not everyone is in a position to invest in a course right now, which is completely fine. That's why I've also created Noah's Ark Bank, which is my collection of free templates and SOPs that will help you start building your own second brain using the Genius Factory system today. While it will require more self-assembly and won't provide the comprehensive guidance of the full course, it's still valuable and will help you improve your knowledge management system today. You can access Noah's Ark Bank through the link in the description below. My philosophy has always been to provide as much value as possible for free while creating premium resources for those who want faster implementation and more direct support. And the course is for people who want rapid integration, quick results, and direct support. People who see a €200 investment in their knowledge management system as an obvious decision because they understand the return it will provide. And for everyone else, the free resources in Noah's Ark Bank will still help you make significant improvements. And remember, your second brain is more than a productivity system. It's an investment in your future thinking. Just as financial investments compound over time, so does your knowledge network. Each new node and connection increases the value of all previous nodes. So start building this asset today, and a year from now, you won't just have better nodes, you will have a different mind. So thanks for watching this video, and welcome back to the Ark. Bye.